Friendo, Steve here.
Yeah, Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Also on the twitch.tv/Steven Larson. Very important I mention those two things because that's where we're going to be doing our live watch-alongs tomorrow for Stand and Deliver at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, Mania Nights 1 and Nights 2. We'll be live doing our watch-along for all that stuff. So hopefully you will join us for that. On this episode, of course, we're going to talk about the Smackdown, the last Smackdown before WrestleMania 39.
Such as it was.
Yeah, they definitely gave us a show. That's for sure. The show actually did happen.
Yes.
Whether or not it was all that compelling or not, we'll talk about here in a moment. But first, I got to point this out. If you're a YouTube channel member or a patron at $5 up, you have until 9 a.m. Pacific, 1 hour before Stand and Deliver. So noon Eastern.
Correct.
To get your picks in for the Friendo Predictions Challenge. I don't know what the latest update is. I know about an hour ago we had like 100.
There's over 100 last I checked, yeah.
But we've got I think at this point almost 300 channel members. We've got a ton of patrons. So make sure you click on the link. It's on the membership tab for YouTube. And on the Patreon, it's just on the wall there over the past couple. I think yesterday you put it up.
Yeah, I did.
Make sure you click on that. And that's your deadline. So make sure you get your picks in now that maybe people were just waiting for that go home math.
I was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
So before we get into our Smackdown recap, it wouldn't be a wrestling show without more. See, I'm telling you right now, I'm not putting him in the thumbnail. I'm not doing that.
Why not?
It's all going to be Smackdown. It's going to be Smackdown. This is WrestleMania weekend. I'm tired of this CM Punk news.
Come on, have at least Punk in the corner or something like that.
I'll do like an Easter egg Punk. It'll be like in the crowd and back.
Good.
Yeah,
there
okay.
you go. Good.
That's good.
That could be in his future, being in a crowd of a WB show. So,
yeah.
We've been talking about CM Punk a lot ever since Meltzer talked about some issues between Punk, Mox, Tony Khan, relating to when Punk came back from his broken foot. Of course, there was that really weird little short story where Punk lost to Mox, got squashed by him only to win it all out. So Meltzer put that thing up on the message board. That spurred comment from CM Punk on Instagram, where he kind of went off, as he is often wont to do, deleted that post. So the continuing saga of will Punk return to AEW or not continues, but in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer reported that prior to Punk's post on Instagram, not only did Tony Khan want CM Punk to come back to AEW, they had seemingly, at least in principle, agreed on the parameters of Phil's return. This is what Dave said. Quote, the situation with CM Punk became a bigger story this week when he put up an Instagram post where he went off on Tony Khan, John Moxley, myself, not Larson, Dave Meltzer, and Chris Jericho, which he immediately took down. This came while sides were working on a reconciliation that was at least in principle agreed to per the decision of Khan, who wanted him back. Where things stand at this moment are unknown. There are tons of complicated issues involved and differences of opinions on the subject. But it was going to happen, and then this happened, and it still may end up happening. I don't see how.
I do. Look, if there's one thing, what happened over the past week wasn't nearly as bad as what happened at Brawl Out, and he was about to come back from that. Seems like there's a lot of people there that don't like him, but evidently Tony Khan was like, that wasn't new. That's just information that came out that we became privy to, which we already kind of knew in the first place.
Yeah.
So at this point, why not? They got through Brawl Out. They're on the verge of coming back. Calmer heads prevail. People start shutting up a little bit maybe, and then, go ahead, please.
Those two things you just mentioned, calmer heads prevailing and people shutting up a little bit, seem to be antithetical to Phil's very nature.
Yeah.
If this Instagram post is any indication, you're on the verge of seemingly getting what you want, CM Punk, on the verge of getting back into the wrestling business. Welcome back into AEW. if Meltzer's report here is to be believed.
Yeah, but dude, come on now. Dave Meltzer posted a thing on the wrestling newsletters. Are you supposed to just let that go?
Yeah. Yeah, just let it go.
How dare Dave Meltzer? No.
Who gives a shit?
No.
Who gives a shit? If you want to go back and wrestle, just go back and wrestle.
God.
It's not like more people are not going to like you. Apparently, like most of the locker room doesn't like you.
Listen, I don't care how many millions of dollars they be paying me. If Dave Meltzer posts something on a Wrestling Observer message board, I'm willing to throw it all away. Throw it all away. There's pride. There's pride on the line. It's like that Rocky movie, remember?
No, I haven't seen him, Steve.
Man, I stand by. Look, you're absolutely, you're right. You're right. But I think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen. I kind of thought I was starting to go back mentally on my 2% botch thing, anyways. That no, it's not gonna happen. I think it'll still happen. This was a blip on the radar compared to what happened at Brawl Out. Lots of people there apparently don't like him, but you can get around that by just not having him work with people that don't like him. And then guess what? You think he's not going to be a locker room leader anymore. That's going to be gone.
Oh, he wants to be though. That's the issue. He wants to be.
He's got to know at this point. He's got to know at this point it's not going to happen. You know what? Hey, how about this? He can be the locker room leader of his own locker room. How about that? You want to be a leader to guys like Ace Steel? Go ahead.
Ace Steel doesn't work there anymore, Steve.
Whoever wants to come back, or whoever wants to go into Punk's locker room, as long as it's not the Young Bucks, and witness what a true locker room leader is. There's a guy who's going to tell you he's a locker room leader, and that guy is CM Punk.
Oh my goodness. My goodness. Here's the issue with him. I mean, yeah, if Tony Khan wants him back, he's going to come back, and that's kind of it. If Tony Khan thinks CM Punk is plus Delta is worth the possible headache that he causes in the locker room, he's going to bring it back. The issue is, though, is according to multiple reports, basically none of the top guys in AEW want to work with him. So all these money feuds that make sense to happen with Punk there just aren't going to happen if these guys don't want to work with them. So they're going to have Punk as mid-carder.
Well, look. Okay, here between you and me, this is the deal, though. Here's the thing. The guy can't stay healthy. He'll have one match as long as you have one guy who, look, Chugs will work with him. Chugs likes everybody.
Yeah, Chugs does seem like everybody.
Chugs likes everybody. You have a good feud with Chugs. How about this? Chugs wins the title off of Jeff as you bring back CM Punk sort of in the meantime. And then by the time you get to, I don't know, Double or Nothing next year or something, I don't know, Revolution next year, you can have Chugs versus CM Punk. And Punk will lose that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He ain't going to be champion again.
No, you can't put that belt back on him. No.
And the thing that you can say about Punk is that he understands if he's working with somebody who wants to work with him, who's having a good time working with him, then he'll craft some stories as long as he gets to have things his way. There's plenty of younger up-and-coming guys, like maybe a Ricky Starks. Maybe Ricky Starks would be like, hey, I saw how working with a super old guy worked out for me, working with Jericho. And then they put me with Juice Robinson, but let me go ahead and work with another guy, the super old guy, and maybe I'll get the mojo back. I don't know. I think if Tony Khan thinks this is a good idea, it's going to happen regardless of what anybody else wants to happen in the company.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
And I do honestly think that if we he is healed up and ready to go, or evidently, according to the timetable. And if it's a situation where just let things settle down, he texted Dax allegedly today during a live thing and allegedly said that he misses the fans.
Yep.
I'm assuming that wasn't just Dax making shit up.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great if the entire time Dax was making up everything on his podcast? Like, I talked to CM Punk recently.
He just has a number labeled as Phil, but it's not Phil Brooks.
Right. Yeah, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonator, Phil McDonald.
There you go.
That's who
it is. On the phone. It's like, why does CM Punk sound like Stone Cold?
I'm a celebrity impersonator. Anyways, before we get moving on with our Smackdown recap, I want to point out that today, because it's officially the start of WrestleMania weekend with the Go Home Smackdown episode, we've got new merchandise. That's right now at friendoshop.com. We've got new merchandise, our Mania merch drop. You can get 20% off everything at the shop there if you use the promo code MANIA. Not only do we have our Friendo Club 1999 logo, we just sort of stole the Smackdown logo and turned it into Friendo though. Club. I don't know, it looked like $1 million right there, doesn't it?
Great.
We've got commemorating our the greatest moment perhaps in Triple Mania history when the Enforcer chose wrong. Chose Heavy Metal to be his guy. Is this my guy?
No, it was Heavy Metal. He chose mystery competitor.
The best moment maybe in history. And then of course we finally have our JR homage shirt. Oh man, the shirt is here. You can get that, and then there's some other crap too. So check all that stuff out. We got a nice looking hat. I got the hat right here. It's nice and embroidered right there. So yeah, check all that stuff out. FriendoShop.com. Check all that good stuff out. Let's talk about SmackDown. As we had sort of previewed at the beginning of the episode today, not a lot happened, really, in that episode.
I mean, they bookended it with promos. Mm-hmm. Opened the show with the Usos, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and at the end, Cody and Roman. The idea of, you would hope, fleshing out the story one last little bit before Mania. And the promos happened, but I didn't necessarily feel like they really fleshed out much in the way of the story beyond what was already there. Like, this is your last chance to really hammer something home.
Yeah, no, man.
I don't really feel like, especially the closing segment, really happened that much at all.
So I think the opening promo was decent. I thought it was good. I thought they did a good job with that. Maybe we should have understood, given how Raw was essentially just, hey, everybody, this is the card we got. Hopefully you enjoy it. But this week we are going to be busy figuring out logistics for Mania. So, just remember, here's the players. Here's the show. This is what we got going on, where there wasn't any story beats. And we thought maybe, just maybe, they would do a thing where Cody, got the receiving end of a beatdown or something to really hammer home, hey, this guy's up against the bloodline. They're bad. They're really good at what they do. We didn't get that, and that would have been nice. But I also kind of understand, Roman came out there and just sort of put the punctuation mark on just what Cody is up against. It's Roman Reigns. He comes out there. He's the guy who for years now has been saying, acknowledge me. And I appreciate the poetry of him coming in and saying, this right here, what I'm about to say, it's not for them, and it usually is. It's for you, Cody Rhodes. Acknowledge me. I kind of think that's a decent little bit of writing there. Was it all that compelling? Perhaps not. Was it a decent bit of creative writing right there? I'm cool with it. I thought it was a bit on the poetic side.
If they had done that, and when Cody didn't immediately acknowledge him, then you have the Usos and Solo beat the hell out of Cody, leave him laying in a pool of his own blood.
Roman pulls out a homemade shiv.
Yes.
A shank, and shivs him.
You really got to stack the odds against Cody.
Right, yeah.
No odds now. There's no odds. It is contract, no odds.
Grabs his titty, the broken one, and he rips it back off.
No odds. There's no odds against Cody right now.
What are you talking about? No odds. It's 3 years of bloodline. It's the ultimate odds. It's the bloodline. They
that
always
hasn't
win.
Played out in this story whatsoever, though.
Yeah, it has. Sure, it has. Over the last 3
years.
When
has Cody been at the wrong side of a beatdown from the bloodline? Hasn't happened, Steve.
This is the last 3 years of story building this moment. Finally, they've come across the guy. You know what? Well, yeah, it's the bloodline. That's the story, man.
Bloodline need to flex some of their muscle here and lay a beat down on Cody. Add some drama to this.
No, that's not their way. They usually do that on go-homes and stuff.
I mean, they beat people up before.
I'm thinking of like the Drew McIntyre go-home. Wasn't it just Roman Reigns making him feel like a child? He just made him
that was
cry.
Contract signing. I don't know if that was a go-home for sure.
That was pretty rad, though. So, they get their business done at the match, man. No, look, man, I feel you. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm playing the other side of it. And I agree with you. I wish that they would have done something a little bit more like, hey, beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes, give him a bloody mask. But evidently, the other side of it is just understanding where what the storytelling philosophy is under the Triple H era. And I know there's going to be people out there saying, oh, Vince. No, I mean, this is Triple H's show. He's running things, and I don't think it would have been any different maybe under Vince. I don't know. Triple H is, Vince's protege, clearly. But no, I just think that this is how they're going to tell. They have all their cards, as Cody said, all my cards are on the table. This is going down. It's going to be either me or Roman. Roman has a whole history of beating people, using the bloodline. Is he going to be able to accomplish that same thing at WrestleMania? There's something to be said, man, also for what we refer to as go-home math, where they kind of telegraph, who's going to end up winning. And in this case, I don't know. You're right. Cody hasn't had the odds stacked against him. Does that mean at WrestleMania, the bloodline's going to find a way, like they always do? Because it is really easy for Cody. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just been too easy for Cody. And then now, especially that he has some sort of loose alliance with Sami and Kevin Owens, though that really has been touched on in the last couple of weeks. But
you wanted the 6-man tag match. That's what you wanted.
No, I didn't want that. I absolutely did not want that. I'm happy they didn't do that.
Right.
That for really the first time, there's equalizers should the Usos at least get involved. As Cody says, Solo's not ready. Seemingly not a concern for Cody. So once the Usos are out of the picture at Mania, Cody's like, all right, smooth sailing, crossroads, pin, done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At least that's how I feel he's looking at it. Like, he doesn't even really seem to be sweating this that much.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be sweating to come WrestleMania when he's staring at the lights after a spear, man.
Oh, man. Best WrestleMania ever.
and I start ugly crying. Yeah.
I get this cup and I collect your tears.
Oh, no, not Steve tears. Anyways, he kicked off with an Usos, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn promo. By the way, huge thanks to both you for doing this first promo bit with the notes, but also Chris Garrix for at the last minute, because we're a couple of idiots, and in all the hubbub of doing everything we're doing, we neglected to be like, hey, Chris, can you do SmackDown tonight? But then, bang, he hopped right on it after that first promo.
Yep. Chris, thank you so much, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you to Chris for that. So, just a lot of talking here between Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Jay, and Jimmy Uso. But Jay got to a little bit. So Jay says, hey, we're in your city. We're in Los Angeles. Jimmy says tonight's last SmackDown before the biggest SmackDown tag match of all time on the grandest stage of them all. Sami and Kevin Owens come out, and Sami says, you're right. We're one night away from the biggest tag title match in history. Tomorrow night, we put an end to this once and for all. But tonight, before we take your tag team titles, we're going to make sure there's nothing left unsaid between us. And Kevin says, there's something I need you guys to know. I'm actually conflicted about what we have to do tomorrow. There's a lot of history between us. The first two guys that made me feel welcome were the two of you. You'd play with my son when I brought him on the road. Those are guys I can look up to. That is until you started doing your cousin's bidding. And it only got worse at the Rumble when the two of you tried to take my career. And if it wasn't for him, Sami, I wouldn't be standing here today, but I am. And then, they start drifting off. They're interrupting the eye contact. And he says, hey, look at me when I talk to you. He says, there's a part of me that doesn't want to do this, but there's a part of me that does want to do it. But it ain't paranoia. We are taking those titles. And yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
I'll be Jimmy.
Take over, Oos.
I'll be, Jimmy says, Kevin Owens is right. We showed you love because that's the type of people we are, but we got no love for you, Kevin Owens, and you, Sami. You're here talking about being conflicted. The only people who are conflicted are the two of you. This right here, the Usos. It's brotherhood. It's family. It's blood. And Sami interrupts and says, blood isn't the only thing that makes you family. Loyalty makes you family. And then Jay asks, what do you know about loyalty, Sami? Sami says, I was loyal to you from day one. I was loyal to you and this family the whole time. You were the ones who chose blood over loyalty because Roman never showed loyalty to you, to Jimmy, and especially to you, Jay. Mm-hmm. And Jay gets Jay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he turns around, man. He's not happy with
he says,
that.
hey, Jay, here's something Roman never told you. All the pressure of the bloodline has always been on the two of you, but WrestleMania, we're going to do you a favor and take those tag titles from you. When we do, that's the end of Roman, of the bloodline. And you two can get back to just being you. The guys, everyone in the locker room loved, everyone in the stands loved. You can go back to just being the Usos. And you're just not going to have the tag titles anymore. So Jay, again, turns his back to Sami. He seems really upset and conflicted, and he steels himself and turns around and shakes his head and says, "Nah, that ain't it. I'm going to tell you what it is. It's going to be the same thing with you two. It always is. You're going to lose the big match, and KO is going to stab you in the back again. Meanwhile, you're going to keep on doing. Sorry, we're going to keep on doing what we've been doing the last 600 days. We're sick of you talking about how the bloodline is going to fall. This is Bloodline Mania, and tomorrow after the smoke clears, they're going to say, and still, WWE Tag Team Champs, Usos.
So yeah. Again, effective promo segment, and I really like that. At least at the finish line here, we got Sammy still able to get under Jay's skin, pointing out the obvious. And you got to ask yourself, how is that going to play out at Wrestlemania? But before we get to Wrestlemania, we had a fatal four-way, a showcase match for the showcase match.
Yes.
Montez Ford versus Ricochet versus Chad Gable, an extremely oiled up Chad Gable, versus Eric of the Viking Raiders. They did this also with the women's showcase match as well. The win here went to Ricochet.
Yeah, the finish was pretty cool.
The finish saw, so Ricochet wipes, so Gable hits Chaos Theory on Ricochet. Eric breaks up the pinfall. He knees Ford right in the face, plants Gable on top of Ford.
Oh, that was nasty.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was
with
rough.
An Uranagi, gets two with that. And then Ford hits an enziguri on Eric, then flies out of the ring, takes out the three other dudes, throws Gable back in and hits from the heavens, and Ricochet then with a shooting star to get the win.
Yeah, it was a fun bout. But now with Ford winning on Raw, Ricochet winning here on SmackDown, it seems clear the Viking Raiders are getting that W at WrestleMania.
Yeah, because Gable and there's no way. I say this now. There's no way Gable and Otis are going to win that.
Gable's taken the pin both times, so maybe.
Oh, yeah. But then Otis got dumped out by the Maximum Male Models. But I feel like their involvement is just going to make things cloudy, man. It's going to make things muddy.
So then we're backstage. The Usos, Heyman, Solo in the locker room. Roman walks in, so the Usos stand up. So he sits, they sit. And, of course, they got the face-to-face with Roman and Cody later on. We get a Rhea Ripley video package talking about winning the Rumble. Mention WrestleMania 3 years ago, losing to Charlotte, brings us up to now. And then we got the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Was this a larger field than previous years? Because everybody was in the ring.
It was a smaller ring, maybe.
And I know this is different than the Royal Rumble, that everybody starts the match, but it really felt like there was a lot more people in the ring than usual.
Is usually 20? I don't know what it usually is, to be honest with you.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
The ring was rather full, though.
Yeah, it was. Everybody just coming down. It cracked me up. I love that you see everybody, and they're all like sort of semi out of character. Like Cross walking down without his big entrance is just not the same. No. He had a cool moment with Lashley, and they made some people look pretty good here. But this is pretty much a goof fest, man. I mean,
LA Knight had new gear though.
LA Knight, it looked like it was professionally done because this stuff looks kind of cheap. But of course, Hit Row, both members of Hit Row, Top Dollar and Ashanti, they were tossed first.
No, Corbin was eliminated.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, bigger lump. Corbin was tossed first, but then it was Hit Row, and on we go. Unfortunately for Elias, he had called his, that it was going to be his to win, but that didn't happen. Boogs, unfortunately for me. Now I've turned around so hardcore on Boogs, man. I want to get one of them. Those awesome little action figures they got now, the Elite or whatever they're called.
Uh-huh.
Like they got the Cody with the torn pec action figure. I got to get that.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to make a Boogs figure. The faces, they have these interchangeable heads now.
Yeah.
And the faces are so realistic.
I know.
It's crazy.
It is pretty crazy.
Start doing some stop motion fantasy booking, Larson. You're going to help me with that stuff?
No.
Final
four, Bronson Reed, LA Knight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Braun Strowman and Bob Lashley. Then of those four, LA Knight is the first eliminated. Boo.
Yeah. Oh, the crowd hated that. It was kind of a sleepy crowd, man. I think a lot of people are traveling.
Yeah, and I think they would have woke up if LA Knight had got the win here.
I think so, but they were not happy about that.
No, and then Bronson Reed also eliminated Braun, so a strong showing for Bronson Reed in this Battle Royal. And then, so the final two, we get Reed, we get Lashley. Reed goes up top for a tsunami. Lashley evades it, hits a spear. Reed then thinks he has Lashley eliminated, turns his back without looking at Lashley hitting the floor. Lashley gets back in the ring, just throws Reed over the top. He gets the win. He poses next to the trophy. And we get a Cody Rhodes video package highlighting his entire journey in WWE.
Yeah, well, can't get footage from the other place. Yeah, that was an awesome video package. Then we had another fatal four-way. Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya versus Shayna Baszler versus Sonya Deville. We figured out who's not going to win the women's showcase match. Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, because Raquel Rodriguez booted Shayna Baszler out of the way en route to hitting Sonya Deville with her big Tejana bomb. It was still an impressive finish. And Raquel Rodriguez picks up the win there for her team, I guess, to showcase that she can do that stuff.
That she could win matches, but
She
tomorrow,
can win matches,
is that tomorrow? Yeah, it is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Probably not going to win the match.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's going to be Shayna and Ronda tomorrow.
I like this here from our YouTube chat. AU says 3 interchangeable Boogs heads that all look the same. They're all Boogsing out.
There should be differing levels of vascularity on the head.
Oh, that's the only difference. Yeah, that's good.
Because it's levels of Boogsing out.
So you got like this one here, and then you could do one on that one, and then you have like the big forehead one.
Yes, exactly.
That's good. I like that. That's awesome.
Got it.
Yeah.
Then we see Rey Mysterio backstage getting ready for his Hall of Fame induction. He's got a nice looking tux, an amazing mask. That mask was off the charts.
How much do you think that mask cost to have made, man?
Oh, probably like $1,000.
Because he probably goes super fancy this day. I would say probably 10,000, man.
Maybe.
At least.
He had like paisley on it. It was crazy.
It was beautiful.
It was something else. Yeah. So we go to JBL comes up and talks to him. So we go to commercial. We come back. Heyman is talking to Roman. Then we're in the locker room, and Santos and the rest of Legado del Fantasma walks up to Rey, and so they're chatting up. They're talking about Rey's Mania match. And Santos says, it breaks my heart as a father to see what you're going through. And he says, if Judgment Day gets involved in your match at WrestleMania, we got your back. And Rey's like, all right, well, let's do it in style. And he starts handing them out T-shirts. He says, ready? And they all, reveal them at the same time. LWO.
Yeah, and Santos is like, are you serious? Like, is this a real thing? And we're at home wondering, is this like a real thing? Are they doing it? Seems like they're getting the LWO 2023 together, and that's pretty cool, man.
That is cool. That's
Legado
cool.
del Fantasma. It's a bit of a lot to say there. I just like LWO. It's good.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think the reason is for this? Just because it's cool? Sell some shirts?
That could be part of it, but
what are the odds that? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I wonder if they want to, make official some sort of alliance between Rey and Legado, and if you just have Rey join Legado, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just get a different name.
Yeah.
While they're aligning together, and then if they split, then Legado could be Legado, and Rey can go on his own.
Yeah. I wonder how long it's gonna be before, because Santos is very awkward as a good guy. He needs to be a bad guy. He's so good as a bad guy.
So good as a heel, I know.
So it's like if Dom wins tomorrow, he's going to be like, man, you kind of suck. You let your kid beat you. I'm the new LWO now.
Well, I mean, everybody on Legado had purple. I mean, it's purple and pink gear on for the Battle Royal. So, I mean, and there's been several weeks that Santos, like there was one week he had a suit that had I think he had a black shirt and a purple tie on.
Yeah, right.
So he's been wearing purple a lot.
Yeah.
Of late. So
they're gonna join Judgment Day, just all 4 guys.
Maybe.
They're like, I mean, we'll take one of you guys. We'll take Santos. We'll take you. You're good. I'm speaking for Finn right now. It's like, we'll take the head guy. We'll take Zelina too. She's cool. The other 2, go do something else. Anyways.
I wonder if it's a possibility of something like that. If Rhea wins the SmackDown Women's title, her and Dom go to SmackDown, like do their own Judgment Day on SmackDown, then Finn and Priest stay on Raw, recruit Legado to join them.
That's cool.
So then you have one larger Judgment Day faction across 2 shows.
I feel like that's a cool idea, but this is what you do instead. You have Santos stay on Raw. Joaquin Wilde and wait, is that his name now?
Yeah,
Joaquin Wilde,
Cruz del Toro.
Del Toro. They go to SmackDown, so Dom has some guys to lead.
Oh, there you go.
That'd be wild.
That's good.
That'd be crazy.
That's good.
Dom as a leader would be hilarious.
That would be pretty funny.
So anyways, good to see the LWO back in action.
Yes.
We've got, after that, we have Drew McIntyre and Sheamus figuring out just how well they can, in fact, coexist against Imperium, a well-oiled tag machine.
How'd you like Drew McIntyre basically speed walking past Sheamus during his entrance?
You know what it reminded me of? In 2K, when you put like a faction together of randos, and like they're supposed to come out like with their together entrance, but one guy phases through another guy, and just goes all the way down because they got the speed wrong. Drew McIntyre did a speed walk right past Sheamus, showing that he can get there faster. He can walk to the ring faster than Sheamus can. And of course they do the whole thing that you and I would probably do if we were a tag team, where I wouldn't ask for a tag, I would tag myself in. I'm tired of standing here. I want to get some
tag
reps
team
in.
name would be Can We Coexist? Because that would just be how we do things.
Exactly. So that was them. They're just doing that, but it didn't matter. In the end, they annihilate these fools. It was like a bro kick and then a claymore. Kaiser sold the shit out of that claymore.
Oh, he basically did a full flip. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Vinny Vici eats a bro kick. He eats the pin here.
Yeah.
Drew and Sheamus get the win, and then of course Gunther is watching the whole time backstage on the television.
Yes. Then we get our main event segment. Man, we just flew through this recap. So Cody makes his way down the ring. Steve, do you want to do Cody? I know you're Cody's
Hell yeah, I do.
fan.
Oh, you mean,
All
do you want me to do his voice here? Okay, cool. So he says, so Los Angeles, Inglewood, Hollywood, where the fuck we are. What do you want to talk about? We can talk about how we're at the end of the road. This is it, the precipice of the biggest event in wrestling. Wrestlemania is here. On this ride, you sat shotgun with me. All my cards on the table, no ace in the hole. He says, I get here, the media starts, scheduling starts, leaving no stone unturned when I show up on Sunday. I show you what I've been telling you and be WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. He says, so when it comes to Sunday as a man, I am the most prepared I've ever been. In the spirit of full transparency, in this moment, holding this microphone, I'm wildly unprepared. We could talk about literally anything. You guys are falling asleep. What do you guys want to talk about? Are you a couple? What's going on with you two? No. He says, you guys want a showdown, a duel. The fighting needs to start. I could do a ditty, some California love, though it may be a bit too adult for Fox. He talks about hoochies at one point, Larson. He says, I could talk gratitude. You welcome me back and let my audience come with me. You allowed me to be emotional, and I am projecting perfection. That's usually an indication of something broken, and I'm not alone. Maybe the only medicine for me is defeating Roman Reigns on Sunday and cowbell. Speaking of our champion, when we stood face to face, he laid the titles down in front of me and couldn't be the guy and said I couldn't be the guy in my own company. Well, he's an 11-year investment WWE had, telling you he's the guy, and it only paid off in year 8, which was a pretty good line. That was a good line.
Yeah.
He says, oh, and the crowd goes, oh, and I wake up from their jet lag. He says, oh, we're shooting here, cowboy. Something else he says. He says, everybody thinks they're the guy until they meet the guy. And he looks in the camera. He says, so allow me to introduce myself, Roman. I'm not Dusty's son, Dashing or Dust. I'm the next WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. This Sunday, I finish my... And then Roman's music hits.
Yeah, music hits. So he takes his time getting down to the ring. Eventually gets in the ring, asks for the mic, and it says, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Stops himself. He says, you know what, wise man? I don't care about any of them. It's not their turn. It's yours, Cody Rhodes. Acknowledge me. So Cody just gets right up in Roman's face. Roman gets the WWE title, holds it up, and that's how the show ends.
Mm-hmm.
No violence, no beatdown.
No, man. Didn't need
Cody
it.
with the crimson mask.
Didn't need it. He says, acknowledge me. And that's more unmanning than any beatdown, Larson.
Cody didn't look unmanned at all.
No, he never does. He's perfection.
No, he never does.
Didn't you hear him? He's perfection.
He said he's projecting perfection.
Yeah, no. I see it. He is perfect.
Oh,
Anyways.
Goodness.
Let's go ahead and answer some questions.
Let's answer some questions, yes.
Let's get this done in 45 minutes, man.
All right, fair enough. You want to go enjoy your Friday night, huh?
I'm going to go to Jan's, get drunk.
Oh, the Kings have a game tonight?
Do they?
I don't know.
I just want to get drunk.
Oh,
I think they
Steve
do.
Wants to get tipsy.
I think they do. I'm not going to get drunk tonight. It's WrestleMania tomorrow. It's Stand and Deliver tomorrow.
10 in the morning, I know.
They're up by 6 on the Trailblazers, who are probably phoning it in tonight.
Yeah.
They're sitting a lot of people these days.
I got a question here from Alex Foster on the Patreon. It says, what way could Cody win that would upset you, Steve?
Oh, me? Wow.
And what way could Roman win that would upset Larson?
Oh, well, come on. Clearly, Cody winning via countout would upset me. That'd be terrible.
Oh, he went to the title. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awful. Oh, my gosh.
I don't think there's a way Roman could win that would upset me.
Or DQ. Solo attacks and clear view of the ref. Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. The bell rings, and then the lights go, They say, okay, everybody, thanks for coming out to WrestleMania.
They shoot off all the pyro like someone actually won something, yeah. Here, just make a bunch of, shoot enough pyro, enough loud noises, people forget about the weird finish.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be great. Yeah. Let's see here on the YouTube. Mike Stevens says, if you guys were unified tag champions, how would you carry the belts? By the way, us guys do have a prediction video up right now at Friendo Club Wrestling. It's our other channel where we do shorter stuff. Many of you probably know about it because it's been doing pretty good in the views lately. It has
been. Thank you, everybody, for that.
Our My GM series is there. That's wildly fun. And we got a bunch of stuff there.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, the prediction is doing very well.
All right, look at that. Mike Stevens says, if you guys were unified tag champions, how would you carry the belts? He suggests one carries Raw, one carries SmackDown, or like the Usos.
Oh.
Physically also. How?
Okay. This just popped in my head. I don't know if it would work because they're Velcro straps. I would put it around my waist, but it'd be too loose, and so by the time I walked out to the ring, it'd be around my ankles.
You're gonna put suspenders on it?
Yeah, I could do that.
That'd be amazing. That'd be great.
Like was it like when the town drunk has the barrel around them, has suspenders to keep it up?
That sounds right. That sounds right. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
I always liked John Cena when he had the 2 titles when the Undisputed. He clipped them together and they look so stupid. Yeah. I would do that. Whatever looks stupidest, but I think you might have actually. And here's the thing: do what the town drunk does. Use rope, not suspenders.
Yes.
Use twine.
Yes. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
good
that's
idea.
Good. I like that.
Patrick Kennedy asks, "What's your favorite type of wrestler? High flyer, fighter, brawler, etc."
Specialist.
He's fond of specialist. Storyteller, that's my favorite type of wrestler.
I like because he matches up with everybody.
Oh.
You get a good star rating, and then you know what happens? WCW wins again. Have you been strategizing for your next MyGM?
I wrote a bunch of stuff in this paper here last time we were doing stuff. I haven't really thought about it since. We fire it up again, I'll think about it.
All right, sounds good. Chris here, we've got a super chat for 110 something. Says, is Reigns interrupting Cody before he called his shot an indication that he retains? I don't think they clued us in it at all tonight in terms of this means somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. I don't think that was the point of anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just supposed to be a sign of disrespect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's kind of as much as I read into it.
I know what your answer is for this, and I think I know what mine is too.
Huh.
But SJU here says, assuming only one could happen, would you rather have Jay or Solo beat Roman at SummerSlam?
Oh, yeah, it's Jay.
It's Jay.
It's Jay. That's the story. Yeah, Jay's the story.
Yeah. Yeah, his point here, and I get it, is Solo seems more primed for a main event run. I don't think Cody just proved that he's not ready. I think Solo's got a little while before he's going to be a main event guy. But I want to see that story. I want to see him develop into that.
One of those 2 wrestlers mentioned the question has the nickname main event.
Right, Jey Uso.
Jey Uso. So I think that answers your question right there.
Yeah, I agree. That's all the questions I have on YouTube.
Oh, I got plenty over here.
Okay,
Sebastian.
great.
Sebastian asks, what's the biggest swerve WWE could pull either at Mania, Raw, or SmackDown next week? Top swerve.
The one that I mentioned on Overrun. the bloodline.
Yeah, Cody wins. Yeah.
Takes Cody as their leader. Cody wins and
Cody
becomes
did say he's
leader.
the new head of the table.
That's true. Well, hey, there you go. Maybe it was some prognosticating. Yeah.
Michael Spurlock asks, "What's our favorite WrestleMania?"
Oh man, I'll be honest with you. Probably, personally speaking, 31. Being there, and I've watched it since then. Wildly fun show. Holds up well. I loved all the WCW Monday Night War stuff. I really like that.
Yeah, it's probably 30 for me.
30's a really good one too. Yeah,
30 was really good.
Yeah.
Mayor Planet Houston, what non-WWE shows or matches are you looking forward to this weekend? Commander and Vikingo.
Oh, Commander versus dude. So I saw this in chat. We're not doing any Ring of Honor spoilers. Dante Martin fucked his ankle up.
I saw that on Twitter before we started. Yeah.
Went the wrong way. Yeah, it was rough. That poor.
Did you
kid.
watch it?
Yeah, I watched it real quick while you were reading one of the promos. It's gnarly. It goes the other way. Yeah, it sucks. I feel bad for that guy. Yeah. Hopefully he's able to recover.
That's awful.
Still young, still a lot of time left, but man, that sucked.
I mean, Top Flight can't catch a break.
They can't. They really cannot.
Darius been hurt, 2 or 3
Multiple times.
Now
yeah.
Dante's hurt. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Kyle asks, how badly does Austin Theory need to win against John Cena?
Dude, you know what he needs more? Character. I feel like this, yes, it's a good feather in his cap. I actually kind of fear that a win will be his character, right? He wins, and what is he then? Hey, dog, I'm the guy who beat John Cena.
I know.
Great. What else he got?
I know.
I got that.
If Austin Theory beats John Cena, it validates in his mind everything he's been doing. Austin Theory, that is.
Yeah.
John Cena beating Austin Theory could force Austin Theory to look in the mirror and reevaluate things and start moving his character in an interesting direction. That's why I'm kind of hoping John Cena wins this match. Even though I know John Cena, as soon as that match is over, is getting a limo, getting to a jet, flying to someplace.
See, here's the thing, dude. This is the thing. In character, yeah. But like the bottom line is creative needs to step up.
Oh, yeah.
And if he wins or loses, gives him something to work with. Because if he loses, I also fear that so far he has not given us any indication. He was humiliated on his cash in, and there was no self-reflection at all. Well, I guess there was a minor bit where he was like, I'm done, being the future, I'm the now. So I guess there was some amount of...
He got rid of his phone, stopped taking selfies, and just...
So I guess I'm wrong on that one. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe in that case, you're right. Maybe a loss will cause him to further self-reflect and change things up. I just don't know, because that self-reflection obviously didn't do much. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Shavon here asks, Drew has a sword. Sheamus has a shillelagh.
Yeah.
What weapon is Gunther bringing to the triple threat match?
Oh, I thought the question was, what weapon would we bring?
His hand. It's the only weapon he needs.
They're registered weapons right there, man.
He just needs his hands to deliver chops.
If you kill a guy with, your hand, then, Gunther, because it's a registered weapon, he'll be,
Wait, what?
You can get arrested by that. I'm trying to do the bit from, have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's so good. There's a part where Bruce Lee is like, he's being all braggadocious, and he's saying, my hands are registered weapons. If I kill a man, they can arrest me for manslaughter. And Brad Pitt pans over to Brad Pitt. Any man kill another man with his bare hands, he can get arrested. I was awkwardly stumbling my way into that joke. It was pretty funny.
It would have went over my head because I had no idea.
I love that. That might be my favorite Tarantino movie at this point.
Oh, wow. Really?
Really, yeah.
That's saying something, because how many times you saw Pulp Fiction in the theaters?
Saw that like 8 times in the theaters. And for the longest time, that was like the movie that made me want to do anything creative.
Yeah, yeah.
But like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I could watch that movie over and over and over again.
Wow.
It's so much fun, yeah. It's wildly fun. Any man kill another man with his hands and get arrested.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, any more good questions?
That's all the questions we got here on the Patreon. You got your wish, Steve. Just over 45 minutes.
Woo, woo. We're out of here, bitches. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. It's WrestleMania week. So we'll be back tomorrow morning for Stand
and Deliver.
That's right. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.